Okay, the New York Jets record prediction. So Zach Wilson and Robert Saleh entering their second year. The Jets did improve. They have a very good draft, had a very good free agency. Biggest problem to me is that their schedule is very hard. They play the AFC North, which all four teams are contenders, and then you have the West, where three out of four teams are contender, and even their bottom feeders they play improved greatly, like the Broncos. So your first game versus the Ravens. Ravens, they're a good team, but they were injured last year. They're getting a bunch of players back. The Jets are gonna have starting a bunch of new draft picks and a bunch of new free agency. So um, even with the improvement, this is first game. I'm gonna take the Ravens. You have week two versus the Browns. I think Browns, Nick Chubb, and Kareem Hunt maybe there. I think it's gonna be too much for that defense, specifically the linebackers to handle the run game. And to me, with Becton out, Myles Garrett may be a problem, and the Jets' offense will just won't be enough to carry the team. So I'm gonna take the Browns. Then you have Week Three versus the Bengals. Similarly, another high-powered offense. I don't think the Jets' defense is good enough to stop that Bengals high-powered offense. With Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, all that, and Joe Mixon will also cause problems. And like I said, Jets' offense isn't good enough right now to carry their team. So Bengals. Okay, then you have a game versus the Steelers. The Steelers, to me, they're starting Pickett and I have average wide receivers. So I think the Jets will do better. I think Najee Harris is going to be a problem, but that biggest problem is that Steelers defense, which isn't like the greatest, but it's still very solid, and I think may cause problems for the Jets and Zach Wilson in particular. And the Steelers' home field advantage, I think that's too much for the Jets to overcome the Steelers. Okay, then you have a game versus the Dolphins. I think Dolphins blitz. It's a divisional game, so I think it's always hard to predict. But the Dolphins haven't lost to them in a while, and to me, I think the Dolphins blitz heavy defense will cause problems for Jets and Zach Wilson in particular. Dolphins also have a very solid defense, and to me, Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle will be too much for the Jets defense. So I'm gonna take the Dolphins. Then you have Week 6 versus the Packers. The Jets just aren't on the Packers level yet. Packers, they're Super Bowl contenders with Aaron Rodgers, even losing Devontae Adams. I think they're much better on defense, and the Packers are home field advantage, so I'll take them. Then you have a game versus the Broncos, another team that improved. Russell Wilson and the run game and wide receiver, I think it's going to be too much for the Jets defense. And the Broncos offense, I think, does have holes, and Zach Wilson may be able to exploit them, but I don't think they can carry. The and the Broncos have home field advantage, so I'm gonna take them. Yeah, Week 8 versus the Patriots. Even though it's a divisional game and the Patriots lost talent, Patriots always dominate the Jets. That's just what it is. They always dominate them. I'm gonna take the Patriots. And you have a game versus the Bills. Bills are Super Bowl contender. So this is definitely a trap game for the Bills. I don't see them losing. They're just too talented. I'm gonna take the Bills. Then you have a game versus the Patriots. Like I said, Patriots always dominate the Jets, so I'm gonna take them sweeping them. Then you have a game versus the Bears. Bears are a lot less talented. I think with Roquan Smith on the trade block, I think Zach Wilson and company will have a good game against a depleted Bears defense, and the Bears offense really isn't that scary, and the Jets defense I think will be able to hold them, and they have home field advantage, so I'm gonna take the Jets. Then you have Week 13 versus Minnesota. I think this one's gonna be one of the better games. Minnesota do have Justin Jefferson and Adam Thielen, but I think the Jets will be much improved at this point, and the Vikings defense do have some superstars, but aren't the greatest. So Zach Wilson and the Jets offense may have a better game, but I'm gonna take the Vikings because of their more veteran presence and because home field advantage. And, Week 14 versus the Bills. Bills are probably looking for a number one seed at this point, and looking for a Super Bowl. So I don't see the Jets beating them. I'm gonna take the Bills sweeping the Jets. Then you have a game versus the Lions. Lions, they did improve. They did get the wide receiver that I forgot what his name was. They do still have Swift and Hawkinson who may cause some problems. But talent wise, I think these are on the same level. But I'm gonna take the Jets just because of the home field advantage. Similarly, you have Jaguars and they're similar talent-wise, and Trevor Lawrence, number one versus number two pick, Zach Wilson. I'm going to take the Jets with home field advantage, and this being a Thursday nighter, so the road team hits especially hard. Then you have a game versus the Seattle Seahawks. I think the Jets defense will cause problems for Drew Lock or Geno Smith. The Seahawks offense just isn't the best, and the Seahawks has one of the worst defenses. So I'm gonna take the Jets. Then you have Week 18 game versus the Dolphins. I think Dolphins will be looking for a wild card spot, and it's gonna be a close game, but I think the Dolphins are gonna pull through. So I'm gonna take the Dolphins sweeping the Jets. So Indianapolis Jets on 4-13, 0-6 in the division, 3-5 at home, and 1-8 away.